Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Karen and we're just going to vlog and see where that leads us. But first, let's talk about my current reads for the week. I am currently reading on my Kindle a memoir I've been wanting to read for a while, and that is Fearless and Free, a memoir by Josephine Baker. This was originally published in French in the 1940s, I believe, but it has been translated to English, and now we get to read Josephine Baker in her own words. And so I'm currently reading The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, and I'm not gonna lie, I read the first 25 pages and I was just a little bit confused. On things, but we're just gonna keep reading and see how it goes. I have about 40 minutes until I need to log on to a work call, and so I wanted to spend some time and kind of research some classics that I would want to read this year. In my last video, I talked about how my goal for one of my reading goals is to read a classic, at least one. However, I've internally have been struggling with the fact that a lot of classics that are listed on different listicles and are on the shelves are very white. And some of them are great. Some of them probably are really great, but I'm just not interested in a lot of those authors. And so I came across this YouTube channel, Ariana Chai at Ari Chai Reads. They posted a video called 12 Black Classics to Read in 2026. And then I just finished watching their favorite books of 2025. So I'm gonna also just binge watch the rest of their channel, but they had some really great books listed in their video, but I wanted to do some more research and see what other classics I can find. So I'm going to make a list in my reading journal of some of those classics and then share that list. Okay, I did maybe 10 minutes of research. I came across an original list on Penguin Random House, and they have books listed like The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, Go Tell It on a Mountain by James Baldwin, and Invisible Man by Ralph Ellison. And then I came across a list on Book Riot, and they have Hawaii's Story by Hawaii's Queen by Queen Liliuokalani, which I didn't know she wrote that, so I think I might check that out. But then I came across another, I started Googling, are all Penguin Classics classic books? And because I didn't know if Penguin Classics was just a title or if it was representative of all of the books that they publish and republish are classic books. So anyway, I came across a little part on their website that was what makes a classic a classic? Here are 75 classics for 75 years. And it's literally a list of 75 books that are classics, and you get to decide for yourself, I guess, what is a classic just based on this provided list. And it seems like there are lots of options on here. I see The Cancer Journals by Audre Lorde. I see Revolutionary Suicide by Huey P. Newton. So I see this looks like a pretty, and then there are some white authors too. There's Frankenstein on here. You got Shirley Jackson, The Haunting of Hill House. This seems like a good list to start out with. So I think I'm going to start with this list and the ones that I had written down. And also, if The Bluest Eye is a classic, that's what I'm currently reading right now. Also, someone commented on my last video saying, I think of a classic as having some combination of 3 potential criteria. It's representative of genre, author, time period, form, or movement. 2, it does have at least a few years on it, long enough for other readers to find it definitive or representative beyond fresh, new, and groundbreaking. And 3, it's been or is formally studied. So I feel like that's a lot of the books I had written down and see on this list. So I feel a lot better about, well, I don't think I can still define what a classic is, but I feel a lot better about having options. So that's great. Hello, just checking into the vlog because I forgot I was filming. So a few things. One, I have made a significant dent in The Bluest Eye. I'm about 154 pages in, and I feel like I can finish this today. I really don't have a lot left. And I wish I had waited to read this book because I just finished a very character driven book, and this is a very character driven book as well. So I think I needed a little bit more of a balance. Toni, I feel like I don't know where I've talked about this before. I feel like I mentioned it in the vlog or on TikTok, but Toni Morrison, this is my first Toni Morrison book, and her writing is so unique and challenging in a way that makes you think deeper about the characters and their trauma and their backgrounds. And you're forced to develop this level of empathy that I feel like I have not experienced with another author before. So Brandon and I went to the comic book store recently, and I got a copy of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. This is, I think, the complete set of the comics. I'm really excited for the movie, of course, so I was like, let me do the comic books. And then I found this comic book series at the store called Roots of Madness, but they only had issues 2 and 3. And so I emailed the store and asked if they could set aside copies or issues 1, 2, and 3 for me. It is still currently ongoing, so like there's still new issues coming out, but I believe there's a whole volume set coming out in September. But it looks so cool, and it looks like it's beautifully illustrated, so I was instantly like interested in this. It is a brand new day. It is Thursday, January 15th, and I finished Toni Morrison's The Bluest Eye. So I finished this last night, and I very quickly came to the conclusion that I did not like this book. However, that does not mean this was not a good book or a beautifully written book. It was all the things. It's just this book is so painful, and by the end of it, I was like, what? I have no words. And I feel like the thoughts that I have on The Bluest Eye, I don't have anything new to say based off of things that I have already seen on the internet. However, I will say, whenever I do come across like newer reviews of The Bluest Eye, people are usually just like, I loved it. It was so beautifully written. I don't even know what to say about The Bluest Eye. We like literally, the prologue of this starts out essentially with how this book is going to end, right? So we learned from the very beginning that Pecola was assaulted by her father and is pregnant by her father. And I thought going into this, like this is going to be following Pecola's perspective the entire time. That's not the case at all. We follow all of these different characters that were all going through their own level of like different beauty standards and generational trauma and self-hate and all these things, but also contributed to Pecola's story and trauma that she experiences. Literally by the time I got to the very end, I just wanted to cry for Pecola, and also for almost everyone else in this story. This isn't an easy read at all. And like I said, I think I mentioned earlier, like this type of book, it is not for entertainment. Like Toni Morrison is gonna make you think. Every single word, every single phrase, every single period and comma, all of it has so much weight to it and has meaning behind it. You just have to like read deeper to understand it. And yeah. So anyway, Bluest Eye, I did not like it because it was such a hard book to read. Good morning. It is Saturday. I have not done a lot of reading at all, but I did want to wrap up this vlog by showing you what I got from the public library and my current read and future read. I was browsing books on Instagram, just seeing like what other people have posted, and this has been on my list for a year or so, but that's The Seven Moons of Molly Almeida, and this is the 2022 Booker Prize winner. I don't really know what this is all about, but I'm really excited for this. I remember reading the synopsis like a year ago and was like, huh, that sounds so interesting. And the cover is absolutely beautiful, and I'm so glad my public library had a copy. And then I have this book, hopefully, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but Gin Patrol on the Purple Line by Deepa Anapara. This is the book that the Read Around the World book club for Greenville Readers Hub, which is an organization that I run, this is what they're reading for February. So I really would like to at least get to this and maybe join them. So currently, of course, Josephine Baker's Memoir on my Kindle. And then I found this on my shelves. My friend Sage actually gave me this copy, but this is Persepolis, the story of a childhood. But this is a graphic novel memoir of the author's time growing up during the Iranian Revolution. And then, of course, my future read is This Is How You Lose the Time War. This is what my romance book club is going to be reading for February, so I need to get on it. Hopefully there was something decent to come out of this reading vlog when I upload it, but that is it for this video. I am very excited for the next one, and hopefully by the time I film my next one, I would have already read more than just 2 books. Bye, everyone.